I'm trying to find the correct like length to be like close enough to be relatable, but not so close that I frighten you. So we are looking for a comfortable medium here because Mommy got a new camera. What's up, plant nerds? It's Rachel with Heart-Shaped Leaves, and I'm solo today. Casey's at work. The lighting in here is kind of crap, so let's apologize for that right off the top. But I thought today, since we are alone and we can talk, you know, just you and me about things that are going on around the house, that I would show you my begonia collection today. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome. If you're an old subscriber, welcome back. So today we are all by ourselves, all by our lonesomes. Oh, I know, it's really sad. Things are a little bit calmer today, perhaps. And I thought it was a great opportunity for me to show you guys my begonia collection. So let's get started going through these babies because this is going to take a while. We're going to be here for a minute. So let's get started. I'm going to start with the ones that I'm not 100% sure on. I picked this up at Neumeyer's Nursery here locally, and it is some sort of dragon wing variety of begonia, and the guy told me what they named it. And I went back and actually asked again what it was named, and I forgot again. So obviously that's not going to ever stick into my head. So, oh well. If you guys know what the ID is for this begonia, let me know. I hope the lighting's good enough for you to kind of see it. I'm giving you all the room's got right at the moment, and I got some lighting on the way. So hopefully you'll be able to see all the plants a lot better in the future. Okay, very nice. Oh, we'll talk about this also. If you look on the undersides of this begonia here also, blood red. Blood red. It's such a beautiful begonia. Glossy in appearance. It has like these little teeny tiny hairs on the very tops of the leaves that make it look extraterrestrial. It's really cool. Very nice begonia. We'll call that begonia number 1. Oh God, yeah, right. Like I'm gonna be able to keep track. Okay, next up is my begonia, and I think it's called either Pink Streaks or Pink Points. It's I'm pretty sure it's part of the Jurassic collection of Rex begonias. If you look deep down in here in this leaf portion right here, there's like a hot pink portion, and this portion here is more like a metallic silver on the end. It's got really cool shape to the leaves, a pretty tight growth pattern, and if you can see here, she's blooming. Super pretty. So, very nice. We'll call her Pink Streak. And like I said, if you know the actual name for some of these begonias, you know that I like to put tags in all of them, and that's why I haven't yet, because I think I know the ID on most of them, but for most of them, I don't. So we've got begonia number 3, which you guys saw on my plant tour in my bedroom, and it was under my grow lights. I can't remember the name of this one either. Begonia Rex, Atna, something like that. This one is so cool. The little baby ones, they come up with just hyper metallic candy apple red and silver on the leaves, and then when they get a little bit more mature, they get this almost watermelon. Can you see that? Is it focusing? Hello. Hello. There it is. Weird, huh? That one's a trip also. I like that begonia a lot. Probably not my top 10, but I still like it a whole lot. So that's begonia number 3. Next we have begonia Berkelii Silver Edge. We've talked about this one a lot. This is one of the begonias that I picked up from Steve's leaves, and then I gave you guys an update on my last video with it. It does have a lot of leaf damage, if you can see here. That just kind of comes with the territory when you're getting plants online. You know, the new leaves won't look like that. This is just a transitionary period. Here we have my Begonia Zumba. It is one of my most visually stunning, I think, begonias. You can see why. The pattern and the veination on these leaves is absolutely miraculous. I mean, the contrast will catch your eye from across the room, no doubt. It's such a beautiful, beautiful leaf. And I'm trying to catch all the light that I can coming in this room so that you can get a good look at it. These little blooms here, they come in very dainty, iridescent, only 2 little petals on these flowers, and all begonias have beautiful blooms, but they all look different. So this is Begonia. I have to keep turning around and looking. Don't make fun of me. I can't keep track of numbers for crap. That's what I have Casey for. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5. This is Begonia number 6. This is Bossa Nova Yellow. It is supposed to be a trailing plant, but I have had trouble with, there's some sort of an issue going on under the leaves, and I'm not sure if it's fungus or scale or one of the pests that I haven't had to deal with just yet, but this one has suffered a little bit. And the begonias, it seems like, that have the more, you can see what a crappy day it is outside, like I'm barely catching light. What are you gonna do, you know? But anyways, yeah, it's been kind of fighting for its life a little bit. It looked really great on the plant tour. If you want to go look at what it looks like in more of its glory, you can go look at it during the plant tour. But since it's had its little problem, it's been isolated, and it stays more along the lines of in the plant room, so that, and you know, not touching anyone else, so that it can't spread its little issue that it's going on. But out of the Bossa Nova collection of begonias, the ones that are called like the waterfall begonias, this one's my favorite, and it's because of the foliage. The contrast on begonias, I think, is what nails me the most. So beautiful. And when I saw this thing was coming down with something, I just get so sick of dealing with pests around here, but I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's Begonia Bossa Nova Yellow, and that's Begonia number 6. Okay, I had to scoot back a little bit in the camera to get this next begonia. This is my Begonia Morocco. I picked this up on a nursery haul, golly, I don't know, it's more than, I don't know, more than a couple of videos back, and this begonia has been so awesome to have. I mean, as you can tell, these blooms came out of nowhere, and they really take up a room and take up a space, and they make a statement. And I told Casey that's my favorite thing about this plant, is that it makes a really cool statement. You can see the leaves now that they've been in our, you know, highly humid house. They're not as crispy as they were when we came home from the nursery. But I also like to call this plant the confetti begonia, because this thing, they drop blooms. I went ahead and shook it off a little bit before we did our filming, so it wouldn't just be dropping blooms the entire time. But this thing is crazy with just littering all over the floor. So if it weren't like everyone else in my house already, I might be upset with it. Begonia Morocco. Very pretty. Begonia Green Streak. It's from, yeah, Green Streak. It's from the Jurassic Rex Begonia collection, and this one has been so cool to watch grow. I'm gonna flip it around and I'm gonna show you what's like going on the back side over here. And I rotate this guy a lot. This is just kind of seems like the growth habit of it. I'm a sucker for a hairy petiole. Very cool, very cool, very fuzzy, very, you know, labyrinth, you know, David Bowie in the labyrinth looking type of plant. So I like to get the ones that are super unusual and remind me of like childhood movies, Dr. Seuss. Begonia number 8 is green streak from the Jurassic Rex Begonia collection. Next, this Begonia Nautilus Moonlight. And this begonia hated me for a good several months before it decided to put out any new leaves whatsoever. I wasn't giving it the appropriate amount of light. Sometimes begonias are weird like that, and I just take a growth stall as meaning that that plant needs more light. It's usually not my watering habits because I always use a moisture meter, so I'm sure to not overwater the plants. So I always know when they're dry, which, by the way, that's how I let all of these begonias get. Almost all of them are in terracotta, and I let almost all of them get dry before watering them again. So this begonia just stalled out on me because I had him way too far away from the window, and he did not appreciate it at all. So this is begonia number 10, unnamed begonia. I picked this up at a local nursery, and she was just a little bitty thing, and now, and you're gonna see lots of blooms drop. If you have begonias at home, you know what's going on. These blooms just fall off like it's nothing. But she's large and in charge, and look at how beautiful the foliage. She's so pretty. I know it's an angel wing variety, but I'm not exactly sure of her name specifically. And all of my begonias are super good to flower. So if you look here, really cool begonia blooms. How could you not love it? Super cute. Okay, that's begonia number 10. Here we have begonia number 11. This is another Rex begonia from the Jurassic collection. It's called Watermelon. And this plant, I've been asked on several occasions, mostly by kids, but you know, they'll ask me if this plant is real. And when I get asked that question, it just really tickles me because that's what I want them to think when they come in here. I want them to think that I have the most, you know, unreal little collection of plants, and I let them pick out which ones their favorite are and yada yada yada, you know. But anyways, this is my begonia Rex from the Jurassic collection called Watermelon. You see the silver streaks. I've shown you this, a lot of these plants you've seen on the plant tour, so we'll just pretend like you haven't already seen them because it's just a begonia family collection. So, family reunion. Okay, begonia number 12, and the jury is still out on this begonia. I've had comments where people think this begonia is called Maurice Amy, and some that think it's called, I can't remember what the other name was that they think it is, but now that it's getting more mature, and especially now that it's getting some blooms, I was hoping that I could get a more maybe accurate ID on this one. You see? They're kind of like a really, they're all kind of baby pinkish colored. That may not actually help at all in IDing it, but some of the leaves are a silver frosted color. Some of the leaves are hyper pink spotted. It's really, really flamboyant. This gets a lot of attention as well. And, ooh, there goes a bloom. I told you, they just fall off like crazy. But they love it being here in the plant room. It's not too intense of light, but it's enough light for them to thrive. So, there she is. Next. Here is begonia number 13. I've seen a lot of varieties that look exactly like this cane begonia, so I'm not exactly sure which cane begonia variety this is, but I've had this since it was just a little tiny shoot, and it's gotten quite big, I would say. So, and I really love the silver streaking on it, and when a new leaf comes out, it's pretty spectacular. And if you look at the back side of this begonia, it's like fall colors on, an autumn tree. Super beautiful. Flip it over, hunter green with silver specks. Very nice. Moving on. Begonia number 14 is my angel wing or dragon wing begonia from the cane varieties that's called Prince of Orange. And you can kind of see why. The light will help us out just a little bit there. The undersides of this cane begonia, instead of being that bright red color, are more of like a chartreuse orange type of color. So this one I would say is my favorite. And when I first got this little guy, he was just he was so small, and I just babied this plant to death because the pattern is a lot like the whitey eye, but I can't find the whitey eye anywhere, and I really don't want to have it shipped because I just kind of like to hunt for plants now, you know? I mean, there's some that I know that I won't be able to find in my local shops, and those are the ones that I'm ordering right now. Like, I've ordered a couple of some kind of more on the rarer side of philodendrons, and I'm excited to unbox those with you guys later on this week. A begonia gunmetal that I just ordered from Steve's Leaves, and I also did an update for on my last video, and this begonia has really been taking my breath away. I freaking love this thing. I've got it sitting right next to my desk with my other begonia that is similar to this, the begonia Griffin, and they just chill with me all day. And some other plants also, so you can kind of see which ones are mom's favorite by the ones that make the desk, that make the cut. You know, and right next to my desk is also my light rack where my variegated monstera lives. So everything lives right next to me, so I can keep a very close eye on everything for pest management and whatnot. So check this. Is this not the coolest? Oh, let me show you the petioles on this thing. Can you see it? Whoa, super hairy. I've been searching for a philodendron fibrosum, and it's got one of those really, really hairy petioles on it also. And this reminds me a lot of it. So, very, very beautiful begonia in my collection. Moving on. Number 16 is my begonia with Withlacoochee that I ordered off of Steve's Leaves, and that I did an update video on my last video on, and it is looking really good, and really spreading its wings ever since even the last video or update that I've filmed, and I can't wait for this one to get really big. And also, since then, let me show you. Little blooms are popping up right underneath that leaf there. Isn't that precious? Super cute. Begonia with Withlacoochee. Okay, number 17 in my collection is my begonia Escargot, and it's one of my top 5 begonias for sure. Super beautiful, super hairy petioles on it. The undersides of it look completely far out. I love it so much. This is also on one of my light racks in my bedroom. I kind of noticed that the leaves were bleaching out a little bit, so I've actually moved it into my plant room scents for a little bit of more filtered and dappled light, and not such a, you know, an intense LED kind of like sitting right on it. So I just love it. Look at, oh my God, isn't it the best? The begonia Escargot. We are gonna be here forever. I have a ton of begonias. I'm sorry. Really far. This big bad boy is my begonia Sinbad. Also another begonia cane variety that I started out with here that was super small, and this is probably my most impressive begonia and the one that has loved me back as much as I've loved it. It's super duper cute. The leaves are a forest lime green looking color. The blooms are baby pink, and the veination on this plant in particular is hot pink. And I have it right up in my window, and these leaves behave like a stained glass, and you can see the hot pink leaves like the sun shining through them, and it is to die for gorgeous. I look at it every morning while I'm enjoying my coffee. Beautiful, beautiful begonia. I recommend it highly for indoor growing because this one has just like blown up, exploded since it's been here. Begonia Sinbad. I'm gonna quit counting with this begonia because it's a joke and I cannot keep turning around and trying to count these stinking begonias. So we're just gonna keep going. At the end, I'll tell you how many begonias I have and we can just go from there. Math's not my thing, if you haven't already figured that out. This next begonia is called Begonia Encanto Orange. It is a fountain or waterfall or trailing begonia variety, and if you can see the color and how vibrant it is in the camera right now, that is such a joy and a pleasure to look at. When I come into the room, I'm going to be putting it into one of these hanging shelves in the plant room so that when it really starts to trail and come over the sides, we will get some pretty impressive colors happening here in the plant room. Because sometimes here in the plant room, my room's the more colorful room, I feel like, and this room's just all green. So having this begonia in particular here in the plant room has made it pretty amazing. This next begonia is also from the Jurassic Rex collection, and it's called Silver Streak. It is also one of my favorite begonias, and I guess I'm just going to say that about all of them, but if you can't look at it and tell why, then you're blind. So I think I posted a picture of this one on my Instagram page, and I used the flash because if you don't use the flash on a lot of begonias, you can't really see the iridescence that's in real life, that when you walk past this plant you get to experience, but sometimes it's really hard to pick it up on camera. So really nice, beautiful, beautiful begonia, and I'm noticing that as the leaves are getting more mature, I'm getting a heavier spiral out of the top. And also, this plant has never bloomed before now. So this is going to be the first time that I'm going to get to see what the blooms look like on the Begonia Silver Streak. Very nice. Moving on. This next begonia is the one that I get confused with my pink, the pink shade with the silver that looks extremely similar to this one, but this has more of like a mauve burgundy color and not a hot pink color, but it's basically the same scheme, the same leaf shape. I'm not sure if this begonia of mine is leggy or if this is kind of the way it's supposed to be. So once I started seeing some of this far out growth pattern, I took it into our dog room, which has a lot more intense light. So we'll see if the new growth ends up being shorter to the soil than this growth right here. But it's kind of really crazy and out there. To be honest with you, probably not one of my favorites from my collection, and it's probably in the bottom 3, and that's kind of harsh. I know it sounds kind of harsh to say that, but everyone knows that your mom has favorites. She just doesn't tell you about it. Anyways, moving on. And we are to the point in the video now where we are slowly but surely losing light. This is another unnamed begonia variety that I have. I think when I bought it, I had a tag for it, and I've lost it since then. And I think it was called something like Begonia Pink Parfait or something along those lines. Very compact, very short, and I actually was a very bad plant mom with this plant because it had next to no light and was not growing at all. So it just graduated to the plant room and getting all the sun that it can get. And it's finally starting to put on, Winston, shh. And it's finally starting to put on some height and some new leaves. So I'm pretty excited about that. This next begonia is another one of the waterfall that you've seen me show before, and this one is called Encanto Red. So if you can actually go back on some plant hauls that I posted and see this plant when I first bought it, and I don't even think it had a bloom to speak of on it, and the growth on this plant has been so spectacular, and it's so rewarding to grow because I love a good flowering begonia. I don't feel like it's hard for me to make them flower. I feel like begonias do really well with me. It's kind of like when you find the plant that you grow well. You stick with it, you know? So I grow begonias well. What are you gonna do? Well, I love them. All right, we've got one more large begonia, and then from here on out, it's just small pots. So we're almost there. I hope you have snacks. Moving on. Oh, it's like, am I wasting my entire afternoon? Who knows? I don't know. All right, I'm gonna have to back up where you can actually see all that is the glory of this begonia. Can you see this? This next begonia is my begonia Griffin. Top 3 begonias in my home. It sits right next to my desk. This bad boy, he resembles other plants in this world. That's what I've been told. But to me, I just think that he has the most stunning foliage of any plant I've ever seen. He's got a wicked cool pot, and he sits right next to me when I'm doing my work, and I've put him on Instagram. I haven't had time to put many of my plants on Instagram yet, but he's one that has made the cut. So if you go to my Instagram page, you'll recognize this little dude right here. And he makes me very happy, and I cannot wait until he gets big enough for me to actually repot him. So, begonia Griffin. Here we have little begonia Go-Go Rosie. Super duper pretty. Let me see if we can move this camera and get just a little bit more light. We adjusted the camera to see if we could get just a little bit more light from this window because it's such a dreary day outside. But this is begonia Go-Go Rosie, one of my favorites. I'm gonna quit saying that. That's so stupid for me to say. They're all my favorites. Durr. Anyways, super beautiful begonia and super beautiful blooms. I think that I get it now why they call it Go-Go Rosie, because these little blooms look like little roses. I love this begonia, and for all I know, it's just used for landscape design, and I don't care because this thing is so freaking cute. It deserves a pot, and it likes to live in my home. Here is another more recent purchase. This is the begonia Kevin White Cotton. If you want to see it better or in better light, you can go check out the last, I think, 2 videos that I've done. One was the begonia unboxing and one was the update. But super cool begonia, very interesting leaves, very interesting pattern on the leaves. The colors that it registers are pretty insane. Look at the undersides. That's pretty cool, huh? Very cool. This is begonia Kevin White Cotton. We'll do these 2 little ones together here last but not least before I lose every bit of sunlight coming through that window. This is begonia prismaticarpa that I ordered from Logi's. No. Let me think. Josh's Frogs. It's a really petite, I actually think it's a terrarium variety of begonia. It's got very petite, little bitty tiny yellow blooms on it, very iridescent, small leaves that are very thin, lose their moisture very easily. I also keep a very close eye on this plant. You can see those very tiny, dainty blooms. Very nice begonia, one of my very small begonias. And the very next very small begonia is what I think to be begonia Bad Kitty. The first leaves that came in on this guy were like a tabby cat looking type of pattern, and then slowly but surely it turned into this really dark autumn embers with this really bright glowing hole in the center. And when I was looking around for the begonia IDs, when I saw the one for begonia Bad Kitty, you can see some of those more immature leaves right there. I think I've ID'd it correctly, but if there's any begonia buffs out there watching this video, help me out, because I want to be accurate and I like to use plant name tags. So really cute begonia. And that's actually the last begonia. So let's do a count and see how many we ended up at the end with. By the way, I didn't even get them all. I forgot one, so I had to go get it. But we were running out of daylight. So I'll do the final count and I'll tell you how many we have in our begonia collection. Okay, plant nerds, so altogether that is 28 different kinds of begonias, and that's a lot of begonias. I brought them all in here into the plant room and I took a picture, and that's a lot of begonias if you want to go look at that, or you can see it, it's in the thumbnail. So, but anyways, thanks for coming, and thanks for checking out my begonia collection. And I don't know what I'm gonna do next time, but you guys will find out in a couple of days. So there's always plenty things to be done when you're a plant mom. There's always repottings to do, there's always shopping to do, there's always eBay auctions to attend and lose, and cry secretly in the bathroom into a towel so that your husband doesn't know how insane you've actually become. If you made it to the end of this video, you are a real one, because that was long. My mouth hurts, I need coffee, and I'm starting to put my shirt out a little bit here. So thank you guys for coming, and it was a lot of fun. Thanks for nerding out with me and checking out all my begonias. Peace out. Later, taters. Bye.